Yo, Big C in the house. You know the name. Finn Posse Podcast. Changing the game. Fins up high. Feel the aqua and orange. Miami heat blazing. We scorching the floor. Marino the tour. We stacking the saga. Legacy deep, call it football nirvana. Big C, break it down, got the stats in his veins. Play-by-play knowledge like he's calling the chains. Fins flying on the field, opponents feel the blast. Tyreek cheetah speed, leaving DBs in the past. Waddle with the wiggle, defense with the clamp. Aqua drip so clean, whole squash the champ. Tune in, Big C, got the mic on lock. Finn Posse Podcast, it's the cream of the crop. Breaking news, hot takes, repping the block. For the Dolphin faithful, this the one-stop shop. Finn Posse. We the voice of the fans. Miami stand tall, got the world in our hands. Best podcast, yo, ain't no debate. Big C, big vibes, setting it straight. Defense smash, call it Aqua Tsunami. X locking routes like a South Beach Armani. O-line holding strong, trenches like a fortress. Big C dissected, no stack goes dormant.
Try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain. Pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane. Pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test. Expect nothing less, your check as I'm chess, what's happening next, yeah. He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson, he got a new engine from pain, it's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just bold and obsession. All in his possession, you got their attention. I'll leave an impression and take a redemption. Just kill, no discretion, your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression, You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy.
What up, Finn fans? Welcome to another episode of the Finn Posse Podcast. I'm your host, Big C, and this is brought to you by Game Changers Media. How's everybody doing this morning? Good morning, Bonnie and Michael. How's everybody doing today? Man, I swear this is one of the worst weeks of football for me. The weeks that we go up against the Buffalo Bills, any week that we go up against a division rival, and you know the outcome's probably not going to be positive, is a tough week, right? Division rivals just sting a little bit more. You know, if you were only going to win 6 games in a year, you'd want those to be against your division rivals, so you can have some kind of bragging rights. For me, the Buffalo games have always stung a little bit more. I hate the Jets. Don't get me wrong. I hate the freaking Jets. You know, the Patriots, their dynasty that they had with Tom Brady. I despise them as well. But the Buffalo Bills, for me, have always hit different. I grew up in New York. I live in New York. I am surrounded by nothing but Bills fans. My family is nothing but Bills fans. So the constant nagging and dogging that I receive from them, and I grew up I was growing up watching football truly in the 90s. And we all know that the Buffalo Bills dominated the Dolphins in the 90s. You know what I mean? Like Thurman Thomas, Andre Reed, Jim Kelly, Darryl Talley, Bruce Smith, Cornelius Bennett. Just, they just Phil Hansen. They had a squad over there in Buffalo. And that's when I grew up. So the Buffalo Bills games have always hit different for me. And since Josh Allen has been with the Buffalo Bills, they've completely dominated us, right? They got our number. Josh Allen's our daddy. We got to constantly hear that. It's absolutely heartbreaking that whenever we play the Buffalo Bills, we know something's bound to go askew, right? Because we've had games where we've been close with the Buffalo Bills. We've been very close to beating the Buffalo Bills. Just something happens where they end up pulling out the win, and then we have the games where they beat the brakes off us. You know what I mean? We have those games too, but it's sickening that we've been so close, yet we're still so far away. So this is a tough week. This is also the week that life begins for us with life after Jalen Phillips. And, Jalen Phillips kind of been putting us in the dirt a little bit. If that's the way you want to take it. He said that being traded to the Philadelphia Eagles is the happiest moment of his life. Blase, blase, blah. Listen, bro, if you want to take shots, we can shoot shots. Hey, you've been hurt the last 2 years. You've never gotten 10 sacks in a season. You're a first round draft disappointment. I'm not going to say he's a bust, but draft disappointment 100% fact. So before you start throwing stones over here at the Miami Dolphins, I mean, take an inventory of your own self-worth. Don't act like you over here giving us 15 sacks a season and we ain't winning football games. Don't act like we haven't lost games this season because you can't finish sacks. You know what I mean? So don't be shooting shots over here, Jalen. Be easy with that. Jalen Phillips. JD, what up? Aqua, what up? Good morning. Again, Buffalo week is rough for me. What week's rough for you guys? What game gets you, that absolutely makes you sick when you see it on the schedule, it's on the schedule? What game for you is that if I could have one win during the season, if I could get one win, if I could only pick one win for the season, which game is that for you? The Buffalo Bills is absolutely that game for me. The Jets are a close second, but the Buffalo Bills are that game for me. So a lot of things going on with the Miami Dolphins right now, right? A lot of stuff I don't want to be talking about at this point in the season. At this point in the season, I want to be talking about playoff races and how we can get into that wild card spot, how we could be, God forbid, fighting for a division title. That's what I want to be talking about week 10 of the NFL season. But now it's, and for the last few weeks, it's almost like I'm back into the off season. It's like I'm back in the off season discussing head coaches and general managers and how to fix the team and who should stay and who should go. And it's rough. I haven't been doing this for a long time. Obviously, you guys know that. I mean, there's some of you have been rocking out since day one. Definitely Bonnie. I know you've been here since the beginning. Man, it's rough. That off season is rough. Trying to find things to talk about on a daily basis. Your mind goes crazy. And the fact that I'm already doing that and the season is only half over. It's only half over. Bonnie says what JP said was a real slap in the face to his fans. Well, that's how these people are. You know what I mean? That's how these people are. Like I said, Jalen Phillips, before he wants to start throwing stones, take a look in the mirror. You didn't do the things that we drafted you here to do. Let's not act like this is a situation like the Micah Parsons situation. Parsons tore it up. Parsons was on a short list for Defensive Player of the Year honors, and you know what I mean? Jalen Phillips has never been that for us. Never done that for us. No 10-sack seasons. For a first-round player, unacceptable. Unacceptable. Let's be real. Jalen Phillips would still be here if he was productive. The production doesn't meet what he's going to want to get paid. He can't stay healthy. I told you the fan base run their mouths as if they're making decisions. I know. I wholeheartedly know that I don't make decisions. I'm going to criticize decisions because I give my time, my energy, my money to this football team. And I feel like I have a right to criticize a team I've dedicated so much to. Now, I'm not always right. Shoot, I'm probably more wrong than ever right. You know what I mean? I'm probably more wrong than right. So, this isn't an exact science. Sports isn't an exact science. Dark times as a Dolphin fan right now. It feels like 2006 all over again. It feels rough right now because you don't know when the end of what we're going through, it's not in sight yet. Or if it is in sight, it's down the road some. It's not like we're at that point. No, we still have a ways to go before we hit complete rock bottom. We invested just like Ross. Well, I don't know if we invested like Ross, I mean, I haven't invested billions, you know what I mean? But, we don't know what, the title of the video, Mike McDaniel may be here whether you like it or not. Stephen Ross is a fan of Mike McDaniel. All indications are that Stephen Ross is going to give Mike McDaniel every opportunity to remain the head coach of the Miami Dolphins. Now, I can't say that I think that's a bad move per se. I can't say that I think it's a bad move per se, and I know that I'm going to take some heat for that. If Tua Tagovailoa is going to be our quarterback next year, you might as well keep Mike McDaniel. You might as well keep Mike for one more year. That's how I see it. If you can't figure out a way to move on from Tua, and Tua's going to be the quarterback of the Miami Dolphins next year, and no matter if we draft a quarterback in the first round this year or not, I doubt that quarterback's going to come in and immediately beat Tua out. Tua's not a horrible quarterback, and I'm going to take some heat for that comment too. Tua's not a horrible quarterback. So to think that a rookie's going to come in and just beat him out full-fledged beat Tua out of the starting job, I don't believe that. Now, is there quarterbacks that's a possibility? Sure. It's not impossible. It's not impossible that a rookie quarterback comes in and beats Tua out. CC, stop it. CC, stop it. Fans can criticize, but giving opinions as if they're facts is an issue. I mean, why is it an issue, Daniel? What's the issue about it? I mean, does our voices even reach these guys? You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure Chris Greer, Mike McDaniel, Stephen Ross are worried about what Big C's saying over on his program and his opinion. You know what I mean? But I think there's a super big chance that Mike McDaniel's the head coach here. And like I said, I don't necessarily think that that's the worst direction they can go in. I think Mike McDaniel has talent. I think Mike McDaniel has the ability to be a good coach. I think if Mike McDaniel was given a quarterback that wasn't limited. I think if Mike McDaniel had a GM that gave him a complete roster, I think Mike McDaniel could be a good head coach. Now, has Mike McDaniel made his mistakes here? Yes, absolutely. His failure to adjust when we need him to make adjustments on the field during games, I feel like that's an issue. His time management has been an issue, although I feel like he's gotten better at the time management. I wasn't available yesterday, Joe. My question though is why fire Greer on Friday if this is how you played the trade deadline? Well, listen, I'm curious about I'm frustrated that we didn't do more at the trade deadline also. I'm definitely frustrated that we didn't do more at the trade deadline. I expected more. I definitely expected more. I thought we were going to make more moves than what we did. I thought there was players on this roster that you should have absolutely moved on from, since there is a super good chance that they're not going to be on this team next year. Daniel says, my point is I've been hearing for 9 weeks McDaniel's on the hot seat. Fans' opinions are not facts. Just because you want something doesn't make it factual. That's true, Daniel. That's true. And I think the reason that everybody said that McDaniel was on the hot seat is because they didn't have faith that Stephen Ross was going to move on from Chris Greer. And everybody assumed that somebody was going to have to take the fall for the way the Miami Dolphins have been playing. So I think they just assumed it was Mike. I know that I assumed it was Mike McDaniel. I didn't have faith that Stephen Ross was going to move on from Chris Greer. Big C, there was definitely calls, but Miami declined. And that's cool. If if I think you take what you can get for players like Matthew Judon, Bradley Chubb. You get what you can get because those guys aren't going to be here. As far as players like Jalen Waddle, Devon Achane, yeah, you don't budge off what you want. Don't budge off your asking price because those players can still be contributors for us, and they will be in the future. But as Bradley Chubb, Matthew Judon, those players aren't going to be here. So take what you can get. I don't care if it's a 6th-round pick. I don't care if it's a 5th-round pick. Take what you can get for those players. Like I said, Waddle, Achane, I understand. Don't pull the trigger, but Matthew Judon, Bradley Chubb, pull the trigger. Pull the trigger. Even if you feel like you're not getting fair value, you pull that trigger. Flores will have Flores ain't a head coach. This whole thing of Flores. I'm so sick of people putting Flores on this mountaintop. Brian Flores wanted Deshaun Watson. Let's not act like Flores was all perfect. Let's not act like Flores wasn't a snitch ass dude. Snitches get stitches, dude. Like, costs us draft picks, and you know what I mean? Sure, if Flores just did the right thing and went up on that boat, we'd be all right. Guy had Jesse Davis as a captain. Yeah, I mean, every coach has their issues. Brian Flores wasn't without issue. Again, Brian Flores wanted Deshaun Watson. You know how badly that would have set us back? The Cleveland Browns are still paying Deshaun Watson. Still. With no success. With no success. At least we had some excitement with Tua. Shoot. Watson over Tua, you're tripping. That's a hater statement. That is a goddamn hater statement, bro. That's a hater statement. That might be the boneheadedest thing I've ever seen. That's crazy. I can't believe you just said that. Watson over Tua. How many in the chat agree with Watson over Tua? Miller, stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop with the Skylar Thompson shit. Yo, don't act like you wasn't fanboying out. The fact that you got a Buffalo Bills logo, bro, come on. When we dropped 70 on the Broncos, don't act like you wasn't fanning out. When we won that game versus Baltimore at the end of the game and Tua hit Tyreek deep, don't act like you wasn't off the couch screaming with excitement. Stop it. Stop it. Pennington didn't have enough time here to, you know what I mean? Again, give Tua a good offensive line. When you gave Tua a good offensive line, the guy who had the number one offense in football. Build the team correctly. God, can we build the team correctly? Well, again, if you didn't think 2023, if 2023 didn't even put a dent in that, I don't know what to say about you. Tannehill wasn't better than Tua. "2023 was a failure because the rest of the team couldn't stay healthy. It had little to do with Tua. Who knows when Austin Jackson and James Daniels comes back? No, we don't, Miller. Tua was not the issue in 2023. And no one ain't a 2-and-near over here. No one ain't a 2-and-near. I can watch this team, and because I'm a fan of the team, I don't hate a player just to hate a player. I can watch the team and be unbiased. If it's Tua's fault, goddamn it, I'll say it's Tua's fault. And Tua has regressed this year. You know what I mean? Tua has regressed this year. No, he isn't. No, he isn't. No, he isn't. The reason we found 2023 is that we had injured. Everybody was injured. Everybody was injured. 2023, when our offensive line was healthy, number one offense in football, led by Tua Tagovailoa. Our offensive linemen that year, 4 of the 5 starters missed at least six or 7 games. And again, Tua has regressed. Tua, it's time to move on from Tua. 100%. But this, if you can't, I believe that with with a top 10 offensive line, Tua can be a good quarterback. I don't think he's not elite. He don't have the attributes to be elite. Not even in the slightest. Tua wasn't winning in Kansas City with everybody healthy. And MREC, he wouldn't have had the win in Kansas City if everybody was healthy, because we would have had a home playoff game. If our offensive line was healthy, Buffalo would have never caught us. Buffalo caught us from behind because we were just depleted by injuries by the end of the year. We would have never had to go to Kansas City and play that game. Now, did Tua play his best down the stretch? No. But Tyreek was dealing with injuries. Waddle was injured. The offensive line was smashed. We was getting pass rushers off the street. X was out. Javon Holland was hurt. Go back and watch the season. Go back and watch every game. A lot of those games that season, even the game against Philly, first off, the refs were very biased in that game. I don't think we had one penalty called against them. But Tyreek, how many passes did Tyreek drop? It should have been touchdowns. How many mistakes did Waddle make? You know what I mean? Like, go back and watch the 23 season. I didn't say that, CC. I didn't say that we're the only team with injuries. But look at the Baltimore Ravens this year. They suffered massive injuries to key players, and they went 2-6. It is what it is. Those are facts of life, though. Don't act like the refs don't make bad calls. Don't act like players don't drop passes. Tua can throw it to you straight in your chest every time, but if you can't make the catch, you know what I mean? It is what it is. Go back and watch the season. That's all I said. Go back and watch the season. And Tua does, MREC, I'm not gonna lie. Tua needs damn near perfect conditions to compete with elite teams. I'll give you that. And I agree about the Tennessee game. And Tua has regressed, absolutely. I remember AJ Feely. I remember all those bad quarterbacks. I've seen bad quarterback play just like all of you have. I think sometimes we get enamored with the Patrick Mahomes of the world or the Josh Allens of the world. Those players come far and few between. Injuries do make a Bonnie. Exactly, Bonnie. Injuries do make they make a difference. They make a difference. Training when John Beck was a death sentence. Joe, I don't even know if it's that. Tua's just a limited player. He's a very accurate quarterback who has elite anticipation, but he lacks the arm strength. He lacks mobility. He can't stay healthy. I mean, he don't have the top tier intangibles to be a top quarterback in this league. And CC, I don't think we should have re-signed Tua. I don't think we should have gave Tua the contract. I'm just saying everything wasn't Tua's fault. That Raiders game last night was ugly. That game last night was filthy ugly. I had $200 on Denver too. I thought Denver was going to smoke them. That game was that I'm not high on Bo Nix. I think Bo Nix is not that good of a quarterback. And I think he showed it last night. He relies too much on that playground type of football where he scrambles all over and tries to make something happen constantly. I mean, he's out of his whole career. Yeah, he hasn't been great with his accuracy this year. But if you're accurate 5 out of 6 years, I mean, you're an accurate quarterback, right? Yeah, I agree. He needs more wide receiver talent. I'm not big on J.K. Dobbins neither. Cortland Sutton, they've always tried to push him as a number one receiver. So, I mean, Bo Nix does need some more weapons. He does need some more weapons, but I just don't like how he is constantly running out that pocket. And he didn't impress me with his accuracy last night. They're sitting at, what are they sitting at, 8-2? But in reality, they should be, I mean, they could very easily be 3-7. Very easily. When Tua went down with his big injury in college, doctors compared his injury to a car accident. We were warned in 7-8 years his injury would hinder him. Players usually retire after his injury. And that's a Chris Greer thing, right? I mean, possibly. What up, Eagle Uncensored? And they did it. They did it, CC. The Broncos did it. They absolutely did it. They're still paying Russell Wilson. They did it. But they had their head coach. They already had a great head coach, a Super Bowl winning head coach in place too. You know what I mean? We don't have that. We don't have that. I don't think so. I don't think so, Joe. And I think most of those games they came from behind the win in the fourth quarter. I mean, the difference between us and the Broncos is that, they had a Super Bowl head coach in place. We don't have a head coach. Again, you guys got a very good general manager in place. You know what I mean? Like, we don't have these people, team building guys in the building already. You know what I mean? I mean, if you were to give me Howie Ross, if you give me Howie right now, I'd say let Howie do it, and I'd have confidence that he could build a winner in a short amount of time. But we don't have those guys. Give me Sean Payton. Give me Sean Payton. I'd have confidence that we'd be able to turn it around fast. That's true, Joe, but you're supposed to be able to take advantage of your rookie quarterback's contract and build a Super Bowl winner, which that's what teams have been trying to do. When you pay your quarterback a minimum, that young salary, that first deal, you're supposed to be able to surround him with max talent. Kind of like what the Dolphins did with Tua. You know, Tua's rookie contract, we went out and got Tyreek Hill. We went out and got Jalen Ramsey. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, they've had new ownership recently. That's true, Joe. That's true. Let's take a look how we match up against the Buffalo Bills. I mean, again, this, I don't think any of us really believe that we have a shot this weekend, but we'll still do our due diligence, take a look how we match up. Obviously, without Jalen Phillips this week, Chop Robinson out with a concussion, Razul Douglas out. He's dealing with I think it's a toe injury. Man, you know, that's three of our best defensive players. I know Chop hasn't been very good this year, but we already got a weak defense facing a top offense. It's going to be tough. Dolphins offense. We're 23rd in the NFL in pass at 194, 25th in rush at 97.2. Total defense, our total offense, we're 27th with 291 yards. We're 16th in scoring with only 20 points a game. We're 16th in NFL giving up 20 sacks. We're 17th in third down conversion percentage at 38.5. And we're dead last. We give the ball away more than everybody with 15 turnovers. Bills defense, they're second against the pass. I think that stat is a little misleading. 141.4. They're 28th against the rush. They're not very good at stopping the run. And I think that's why they're so good against the pass, is because teams just run the ball on them. They just run the ball on them. They're 12th in total yards at 311.3. Scoring, they're giving up 20.9 per game. They got 25 sacks, which is 8th best in the league. Third down conversion percentage, they're letting a first down every 37.9%. And they have 9 takeaways, which is 16th best in the league. Dolphins defense versus the Bills offense. Passing, we're 10th at 198.1. Again, I think that's misconstrued just strictly because we're giving up 145.6 yards on the ground. Teams are just running the football against us. It's not that we're good against the pass. It's that we're just that bad against the run. 343 total yards a game. That's 24th. We're allowing 27 points a game. 17 sacks we got. That's 21st best. Third down conversion, 42.6, 25th. And we only have 7 takeaways, which is 23rd best in the NFL. Buffalo Bills offense, 224 yards passing a game. That's good for 14th. They lead the NFL in rushing, 161.5. Total offense, they're number one, 385.5. Scoring, 29.4, third best. They've given up 17 sacks, 10th best. Third down conversions, 45.7. That's 5th best. And only 6 turnovers. That's good for 5th. What's that equal? Good offense versus bad defense. Buffalo Bills good offense versus a Miami Dolphins bad defense equals a big day for probably whatever running back decides to go for the Buffalo Bills. James Cook is dealing with some injuries. He got rolled up on against the Chiefs. I wouldn't be surprised if he don't get that many touches. I think the Bills are going to win this game. pretty easily. Back in week 3, we did compete against the Bills, but we had Tyreek Hill. We still had some life. We still felt like we had a chance. I wouldn't have paid Purdy neither. I wouldn't have paid Purdy. Mac Jones is like Tua. He needs the exact right offense to play. Otherwise, he's another guy in the NFL playing quarterback. I watched Mac Jones 3 years up here. Bum. Yeah, I agree. You got a bunch of those quarterbacks that are very similar. Brock Purdy, Tua Tagovailoa, Mac Jones. Is there some more? Bryce Young. Who else? Geno Smith, Trevor Lawrence, Daniel Jones. I mean, Jalen, I'd put Jalen Hurts up there too. Sam Darnold I'd love to put Sam Darnold in there, but Sam Darnold the last 2 years has just been off the chains. He's just been off the chains. I mean, there's some guys that are on the Hurts isn't a top 5 quarterback. You're tripping. Jalen Hurts is not a top 5 quarterback. Jalen Hurts is on a top 5 team. If you put Tua Tagovailoa on the Eagles, you're not talking about replacing Tua Tagovailoa. I promise you that. I promise you, if you put Tua on the Philadelphia Eagles, you're not talking about replacing Tua. It's not his fault. I'm not saying it's his fault that he's on a top 5 team, but it definitely, you're not a top 5 quarterback, bro. No way. No way. I know Eagles Uncensored going to feel some type of way about that. That's a CC. Come on, bro. We've made the playoffs with a way less roster. You're tripping. In a harder conference. The AFC is a better conference than the NFC. And we've made the playoffs. Man, they got an elite offensive line. They got elite wide receivers. They got elite running back. They got an elite defense. They got the perfect team. Tua's made the playoffs with a run of a terrible offensive line, a mediocre defense. It's because they can play defense and run the football. I mean, to say the Eagles won't make the playoffs with Tua is, come on, man. That's a haterade shit. It's all right if you don't think Tua's the answer, because I don't either. But you got to stop. I'm saying, Miller. I'm saying. That's what they told him to do, CC. That's what they told him to do. That's what they tell him to do. Don't take the hit. They told him to do that. Raphael, don't be surprised if Tua jumps back out in front after this week against the Bills. Now, I'm not going to say the Eagles would win the Super Bowl. I'm not going to say that. But the Philadelphia Eagles would definitely make the playoffs 100%. They didn't tell him not to take the hit. They didn't tell Tua not to take hits, unnecessary hits. Again, you don't have to like Tua. I'm not trying to talk you into liking him. Tua needs to be replaced 100. His time has came and gone. AJ Brown would get the football, right? You got elite tight end play. I mean, they got a stacked team. Yeah, they said that last year, dude, didn't they, MRAC? That they took out the ping pong machine or the table tennis game and shit. Again, we got a rough week ahead of us. We got a rough situation ahead of us. I don't know what's going to happen. I know that Stephen Ross likes Mike McDaniel. I think that if Mike McDaniel can keep things close, I don't even think Mike McDaniel's got to win a bunch of games. But I think if Mike McDaniel can keep things close, I think there's a chance that Stephen Ross gives Mike McDaniel another year. And it might just be strictly because Tua is such a difficult salary to move on from. Is it possible to move on from it? Yes. Should they move on from it? No matter what? I mean, you can have your opinion on it. I don't know the right answer. I don't know if they should just cut bait with Tua and take the big cap hit, and I don't know what the answer is. You can say Mike's gone, but he's still here right now. Stephen Ross has kept people around longer. It depends on how much of the blame of this season, this roster, he really put on Chris Grier. If he believes that Chris Grier is the reason that we're sitting the way that where we're at right now, then maybe he does give Mike McDaniel another shot. Adam Gase wasn't a better coach than Mike McDaniel. See, that's it. Come on, bro. You're seeing things through foggy glasses, bro. You just saying stuff to say stuff. You lose credibility when you say stuff like that. You know what I mean? You literally lose credibility when you say stuff like that. And I'm just saying, as bad as my team is, I never rock a Buffalo Bills logo. Nobody respected Adam Gase. Nobody did. Not on the Dolphins, not on the Jets. Nobody respected Adam Gase. You can laugh all you want. I think it's funny too. Fan how you want to fan. You're the hater. You the hater. You got a Bills logo, bro. Calling yourself a Dolphin fan. Gase hater. Gase was a terrible coach for us. Gase was a terrible coach for us. Gase was hyped by Peyton. All he literally did was throw screens to Landry. Gase and McDaniel are almost the same guy. Gase even won 10 games and went to the playoffs. The playoffs do not like McDaniel more. Yeah, and I think that was an issue, and I think that's where Mike made a mistake. And I think Mike will learn his lesson. Like I said, Mike McDaniel, should he be replaced here? Probably. Probably the Miami Dolphins should move on from Mike McDaniel. But I think Mike McDaniel in the future will be better than he'll be a good coach someday in this league. I truly believe that. I mean, Waddle's the better player over Devon Bess. I like Devon Bess. I don't know if all those things are true. Get off Flores' jock, bro. I bet Mike McDaniel will be a head coach again. Again, you say that, but if Brian Flores would have stayed here, he wanted Deshaun Watson. You trust that? Big C, Jarvis Landry or Jalen Waddle, better wide receiver. Oh man. I think Jalen Waddle's more physically gifted. Jarvis Landry was the better football player. If Jarvis Landry had Jalen Waddle's speed, bro, he would probably been the top best receiver in football. Deshaun Watson better than Tua? Come on, bro. Come on. Yeah, I was highly upset when we traded Jarvis Landry. I was very upset when we traded Jarvis Landry. He was definitely my favorite Dolphin at the time. Definitely my favorite Dolphin at the time. Kenny Stills. I was never big on Kenny Stills. Never big on Kenny Stills. But yeah, Miami Dolphins. It's gonna be a tough week. I expect Buffalo to win by 10 plus. I expect Buffalo to win 10 plus. I loved Chris Chambers. Rashard Matthews was a good player. I liked him. My boy was Mark Ingram back in the day, OJ McDuffie. I love both them. I loved Aronde Gadsden. Again, the Miami Dolphins have an absolute complete joke on the offensive line. Jonah hasn't been good. James Daniels has been out. Austin Jackson's been out. Their defense has given up 27 points a game, but it's just Tua. Now Tua has something to do with it. Tua has regressed this year and not been good. I loved Randy McMichael too. I thought he was a very talented tight end. Very talented tight end. I liked Randy McMichael a lot. Charles Clay, I like Charles Clay too. Charles Clay was a really good tight end for us. Man, I'm sick that we got to play the Buffalo Bills this week. I hate it. 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 But yeah, what do you guys think the score is going to be? I'm going to say Buffalo beats us 28-17. 28-17. Miami's got to try to run the football. Obviously, they gotta stop the run. They getting a little break because James Cook's a little beat up, but Buffalo's backup running backs have ate us up too. So, tough times. But hopefully there's I want to say a rainbow at the end of the storm, but I still can't see it yet. CC, I bet you $500 it's not 77-3. What up, Miss Fins? How you doing today? And what's your, if you had to put a percentage number on it, what's the chances that Mike McDaniel's the head coach next year? What's the chances that Mike McDaniel is the head coach here next year? If you had to put a percentage on it, I would say it's as high as 25%. I'd say it's as high as 25%. Don't let the Miami Dolphins upset Buffalo. If they upset Buffalo, man, I think with the moves that the Jets made, I think there's a real good chance that we beat the Jets. That's another win. I wouldn't be surprised if we upset Washington because Daniels will probably be out. You got the Saints game. If we get healthy on the offensive line, if Austin Jackson and Daniels get back and we can string together a few wins, and because they have to deal with Tua's contract next year, again, I don't necessarily think it's that horrible of a move. Yeah, do we need to move on completely? Do we need to tear it completely down? I think we do. But until we're able to, until they're ready to move on from Tua, until they financially are ready to move on, if you're going to have Tua here, you might as well keep Mike. That's how I see it. That's how I see it. But yeah. All right, I'm gonna do a video tomorrow. This was, I was watching Rich Eisen. They said this year will be the first year in Tua's whole football lifetime, whether in Pee Wee, high school, college, or the pros, that he would finish the year with a losing record, which is kind of crazy. Right? We don't want Champion McDaniel drafting. That's the worst case scenario. Oh, I agree. They need to find themselves a monster GM. I don't know who it is. I don't know what that name is. I would search high and low on the Ravens organization, the Chiefs organization, the Eagles organization, all the top organizations for someone to come in and run our front office. And then give them the keys to the car, and hopefully they're competent enough to build this team from the inside out. I'm not super high on any of these quarterbacks. I'm not super high on any of the quarterbacks coming out. And I don't think you should draft a quarterback just to draft a quarterback. We're not a quarterback away from winning. So if this year we got to go with, another position besides quarterback in the first round, I'm all right with it. I think you draft the best player available. And almost damn near every position is a position I need on this football team. Damn near. Now, obviously, I'm not taking a running back in the top 5, or you know what I mean? But I'm not pushing to draft a quarterback just to draft a quarterback. That's when you end up overdrafting, and that's when you end up getting busts. I know you said Mershaw. I know you said that. You've been saying it, Raphael. All right, guys. I'm going to be doing a video tomorrow morning, too. I know usually I don't do Saturday morning ones, but I'm going to hit you with a video tomorrow, too. We'll talk more. Maybe I'll hit you with some bets. Hit y'all with some bets. But I appreciate y'all. I love y'all all. Make sure you hit that like button for me. Subscribe, comment, share. Whatever your opinions are of the Miami Dolphins, I'm cool with it. We're all fans. We all get to feel the way we want to feel. But you shouldn't wear another team logo on your, you know what I mean? CC, that's a bad look. All right, but I appreciate y'all. Good conversation, each and every one of you, including CC. But I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. You know what it is. Fins up. Peace.
Yo. Big C in the house. You know the name. Fin Posse Podcast. Changing the game. Fins up high. Feel the aqua and orange. Miami Heat blazing. We scorching the floor. Marino the tour. We stacking the saga. Legacy deep, call it football nirvana. Big C, break it down, got the stats in his veins. Play-by-play knowledge like he's calling the chains. Fins flying on the field, opponents feel the blast. Tyreek cheetah speed, leaving DBs in the past. Waddle with the wiggle, defense with the clamp. Aqua drip so clean, whole squash the champ. Tuned in, Big C, got the mic on lock. Fin Posse Podcast, it's the cream of the crop. Breaking news, hot takes, repping the block. For the Dolphin faithful, it's the one-stop shop. Fin Posse. We the voice of the fans. Miami stand tall, got the world in our hands. Best podcast, yo, ain't no debate. Big C, big vibes, setting it straight. Defense smash, call it Aqua Tsunami. X locking routes like a South Beach Armani. O-line holding strong, trenches like a fortress. Big C dissected, no stack goes dormant.